our minds to such possibilities of thought is when we can now chart a way forward to say, you know what, we need to see a different country. We don't need to see another by-election where, we are worrying about police officers and people in hooded balaclavas showing up with tear gas and unmarked vehicles and all these funny things. We are a country. We are not, we are not Haiti, for lack of a better word. We are a country that is governed by law. For once, let's encourage the law to work, soberness to prevail, so that now you're not paid 200 shillings to go carry a club to beat someone. No. If you want to take the 200, go ahead, take the 200. But for once, at least, if you don't believe in somebody and whatever they're selling, don't show up for the rally. Sit at home. Go about your business. There's nothing wrong in it. The one day that the president will stop doing these roadside rallies that he does, me, I'd be very happy. I just need him to sit in Harambe House and just work. It's not something crazy I'm saying. It's actually realistic. But anyway, PP, I don't want to take off on a tangent. I have very many thoughts about this country. I love this country beyond measure. Most people don't know. But my love for this country is not about what leadership position I can hold. I'm not even interested in public position. I'm just interested in a country where people have equal opportunity. I mean, a young person who today is in primary school can feel like, I want to be president for the right reason. I just want to serve. I want to take this country to a different level. What's so wrong in that? I'd hope that one day we stop listening to people like Atwoli who tell us you have to have billions to become the president. That's nonsense. Honest nonsense. But anyway, those are just my thoughts. Thank you, PP. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mushele. I saw good boy, not good boy, red hand Republican. I don't know if he's gotten to the mic. But ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Home Run the PP. We happen here each and every weekday from around 6 p.m. all the way to 10 p.m. East African time. Next week will be earlier times. World Cup imeisha, so mtanisamea Monday alafu Tuesday tuendelee. So Monday tutakuwa tunapiga nduru watu wakishinda kikombe. Guess what? If you're a Ronaldo fan, I'm sorry. We are talking about champions and future champions. We'll call you later when we talk about goals from penalties. But that is just me. We are 2 minutes past 9 p.m. East African time. Of course, other than Messi, DCP is sleeping very nice tonight after thwarting UDA terribly, mercilessly. Yes, and thanks so much, Michelle, also for calling us to a challenge. Najua ni vizuri pia tunakumbushana. We call each other to account every moment we get a chance to do that. Now, I see Red Hat Republican has joined us, and I'm going to let him speak to us. Of course, lessons from Ol Kalou by-election for today and tomorrow will be there. Just trying to learn a thing or two from that by-election. So you can request the microphone and talk to us, of course, on this platform. That is how we let people speak. And also, mine is to remind you that the independence of this platform, the reason why this show has run for 3 years is you, the listener, that ile 200, ile 500 wenye unaweza spare yenye tumeweka pamoja ndio imetusaidia kukua this platform that people can just join in and speak their mind. So if you like what you're doing, there is a tip line there where we do our end month fundraise. We are currently at 14,600. You can go into that tip line and help us get to 15,000 or more. Okay. Now, Red and Republican, how are you doing, brother? Uliwa mtu self-esteem alafu ukaenda?
Lini niliua nani?
Somebody like T Plaka would like to differ.
Achana na T Plaka, tunachongwananga hapa tu sometimes, but hata yeye anajua it's light-hearted. Anyway, on the lessons learned from the Ol Kalou by-elections, I can think of 3. And I will look at it from the government side. What lesson I would learn if I was in government? Number 1, William Ruto has made his re-election a million times harder. Why? Because in the run-up to this by-election, he upped the game for voter bribery with gas cylinders, mattresses, electricity. I can assure you that after people have followed this by-election, have seen the outcome of the by-election, every person he thought supports him because of the broad-based government will also demand the same kind of voter bribery next year. That is a problem. You see, if he had won, there would be celebrations. People would say there was no bribery. But now that he has lost, all cameras are towards William Ruto's loss, not DCP's win. Nobody is talking about DCP becoming the second most powerful party, although it's possible. Nobody's talking about DCP. Maybe will they field a presidential candidate even if Gachagua doesn't run? Can they find another one? Nobody's talking about that. Though it's a DCP win, all eyes are on the UDA loss. And everyone around the country, from Homa Bay to Kisii to Lamu to Garissa, Mount Kenya, even in Eldoret, people are no longer going to accept 100 shillings. People have seen that pure gas na mattress zinapeanwa. And secondly, on that same point, is that guys do not want to be treated as lesser Kenyans. They don't understand why a place like Ol Kalou, people are being given gas cylinders and mattresses as if they are more special than every other Kenyan. And you want to go there and in Homa Bay or in the coastal region and give them 100, 200 shillings. That's number one. His re-election is harder. Number two, for the UDA as a party, it's finished in Mount Kenya. Every single elected official in Mount Kenya, from MCA to MP, women rep, senator, and governor, they have all learned today that it is over for them if they run on UDA. I can assure you right now they're calling PR firms to find out how they can pivot from UDA to another party and wash away the Ruto sympathizing for the last 4 years. So William Ruto has effectively lost Mount Kenya and all his lieutenants that he had in Mount Kenya. In any case, even if DCP candidates get into elective seats, very few of them will be former UDA. People have already started claiming their seats. It is akin to what happened with Jubilee in 2017, where Kina Kabogo disappeared and all those other people disappeared, and there was uproar that they were rigged out. But the truth of the matter is the young, the ones who had invested in Jubilee, got the seats. That's lesson number two. UDA has lost Mount Kenya. Lesson number three, in the final lesson I have taken from this, is that William Ruto will not win the election in the first round, even through ballot stuffing. Effectively, I have learned that there will be a runoff, or rather, William Ruto, since he's the government, it is 100% guaranteed that he will get majority of the votes. but they will not get to 50%, leave alone 50% plus one extra vote. They'll probably get 40% because it's the government. They have money. They can start throwing money for the next year and cast a wide net and get 40%. So for everybody who says 1 term or 2 term, let them just know that decision will not be made in the first round of those elections. Nobody will gain 50% plus one. William Ruto's only option will be to go to the Supreme Court and contest the free and fairness of the election. And if it is found out that there were irregularities in the election, the runoff will be called off, or rather it won't even be called, and a repeat election will be ordered. And that is where William Ruto will eat. And that is what I noticed in Ol Kalou today. All that tear gas for nothing really, but just to cause chaos. I foresee that in 2027, William Ruto will gain majority of the votes, but not 50% plus one. But he will not want a runoff because he will lose the runoff. Therefore, he will go to court and ensure that election is declared null and void, so that a repeat election, not a runoff, is called. And between the time that repeat election is called and the arrangements for that election to be called, William Ruto will use all manner of panya routes. He will pay people, he will make concessions, he will do everything within his power to avoid a runoff. That's what I've seen so far, Pipita. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
All right. Thank you, Bwana Red Hand Republican, also for giving us your analysis of what is happening. Now, Mbasliech anasema, thank God the presidency is not hinged on Mount Kenya. Mbasliech, jamani, Mbasliech. Hey, kwani nani amesema iko Mount Kenya hata nini? Mbasliech said, thank God it is not. What do you have to say to that, Red and Republican? He says that the presidency is not hinged on Mount Kenya, say.
You see, if UDA had won, Mbasliech would be here typing there. You see, William Ruto has Mount Kenya. He's going to win. But now that he's lost, now he's finding a way to weep in a proud way by saying it does not. The presidential elections don't depend on Mount Kenya. Even if it was Homa Bay and William Ruto lost a by-election in Homa Bay, it would still mean disaster. Even if it was Malindi. You see, if you're a sitting government and you're looking for votes and you've thrown money, William Ruto's presence was in Ol Kalou. It is one thing if William Ruto and the whole UDA had ignored Ol Kalou and had lost this election without campaigning. They just said, hii tutapoteza, wachana nayo. That would be one thing. But he has thrown everything he can at this by-election. Why do you think he was doing that? If this by-election is not important, as a matter of fact, even look at it, the MP who is getting in is only getting in for 1 year, right? Just 1 year. All that money has been thrown there because of an MP who will be there for 1 year. Ask yourself why. It's not because it's Mount Kenya. Even if it was in Homa Bay, he would have thrown everything. It now only depends on what the people of Homa Bay accept to be thrown at them. If you accept gas, you accept mattresses and all that. But either way, William Ruto has thrown everything at this by-election. So for Mbasliech and whoever thinks that all these praises are because the people of Mount Kenya believe they decide elections and blah blah blah, you're basically in cognitive dissonance arena. You expected a win, the win hasn't come, you are now confused, and because you're uncomfortable in confusion, it is anger and bitterness and darkness that first comes out before reality and common sense sink in. Thank you, Pepita.
Nani ameenda Muchele, nilikuwa nataka kumuuliza the same question. Inflated importance from Mount Kenya fellows, man. Where was the hand when UDA won in Mbeere or Mount Kenya? Is all Kikuyu, mzee. Unaulizwa, unajua Sammy namsomea kwa sababu yeye anatuongelesha kutoka kazini. Anasema, ulikuwa wapi wakati walishinda Mbeere North?
Here's one thing I will tell Mbasliech. This is how you know that Mbeere North by-election meant nothing. That it was just a series of steps for William Ruto to show that he still has people. Anytime there are demonstrations, the one county in Mount Kenya where there is no peace is Embu County. Hiyo Mbeere North unaongelea. Like, you can look throughout the whole country, it is Nairobi that will be leading in the chaos during demonstrations. Number 2 will be Embu County. Always Embu County. Look at every demonstration. So you may sing Mbeere North, shout and all that. But if truly Mbeere North was an example, then William Ruto would not have had to, because I remember correctly, the people of Mbeere North did not get electricity. They did not get gas cylinders. They did not get mattresses. It means that between the time he won Mbeere North and this by-election today, something has happened. And do you know what it is? Time. What every aspirant is waiting for. When campaign season starts, Mbasliech, you will be shocked that even in ODM, you will be shocked how many people were just singing because it is time to eat. Campaign season has not begun. When campaign season kicks off and people realize that they can become civilians again, you don't understand how important it is to be an MP. All the perks that come with it. You're basically a king. By the time it's December and people realize, the MPs realize, in 6 months' time, I'll either still be an MP or be a civilian. That is where now you will see that people do not support William Ruto. Back to you, Peter.
Why does Ol Kalou mean Ruto is losing but Mbeere meant nothing? How many by-elections have Ruto's opponent won? This is now turning into conversation. Redand. Huyu ndo itabidi umupatie bullying wajibadilishe jina pia.
I'll just repeat what I have told you, what I've told Mbasliech. The difference is time. A year has passed since Mbeere North, and not just a year. Now we are a year closer to the elections. You see, for example, Edwin Sifuna was in broad-based, and he was shouting against William Ruto, but still under the tent of broad-based. But 1 year to the election, what has Edwin Sifuna done? He has bolted out of broad-based. I'm telling you that it is very important for MPs to regain their seats. You don't understand what it means to have 1.2 million in salaries and allowances, mileage allowance up to over 500,000, to have per month, that is, to have per diems like crazy. to sit in committees and be paid to sit in those committees. Unakuja unalipwa kukaa. Guys don't understand how important it is once you become an MP, how important it is to stay in your seat. Very, very important. You lose that seat, all you're left with is pension, but you're a civilian. People pass you by the street, they just laugh at you. Usi alikuwa MP. You saw Waititu that time he was walking around. Suli alikuwa governor, just laughing and mocking. People don't want to lose those seats. And at the end of the day, it is not William Ruto who is going to give them those seats. By the time election is nearing, people are going to run away from William Ruto because during elections, it is not William Ruto who gives them power. Between 2022 and 2027, 3 months to the election, William Ruto has all the power. People will kiss him, they will hug him, just like Uhuru Kenyatta. They will walk around with him. But when election comes, 3 months to the election, that is when people now start looking where their bread is buttered. You will be surprised how many people will turn on William Ruto. Back to you, Peter.
I'm glad he's not written any other comment, Mr. Mbasliech. I would have called him back here to the mic to talk to us directly. To talk to us directly and tell us what exactly he wants. You say 1 year is a long time, the movement of Sifuna and all these things. And I really get your point. And so people would want to say it's only Mount Kenya, and it's rightfully so, that has gone to, except for Banisa and Kasipul, that has gone to the polls. The government won also through UDM in Kasipul. Bana basi hatuwezi tukataza kufurahia. Wakati walifurahia yao, ilikuwa yao. Hiyo ndio kitu yenye Reda anajaribu kuambia na mambo ya kifupi fupi. Kwamba wakati mlishinda, hakuna mtu aliwauliza eti inabamba aje. So hata wabambe penye inawabamba. Hiyo sijui baki ya no. Wacha sindano ipenye. Ukishika itavunjika, na ikivunjika kwa maso hiyo ni surgery. So wacha sindano ipenye vizuri tu yote venye iko, kwa sababu wakati wa Muthende alidhendeka wakati wa Muthende alidhendeka, mkitokea na stuffed ballot boxes, watu walitulia. So watulia tukudhendeke. You guys are very serious. You know what? Maybe nashangaa watu very angry. What you get? Today was statement that voter bribery, as read and as said, voter bribery has no place in this country. Hiyo ndio ilikuwa statement. Now, to me, lakini that is the main message tonight. Yenye leo nataka tuone nyumbani wote tukisikiza na tukifurahia na tukisema Bwana asifiwe, kwamba voter bribery tukiendelea hivi in the next 2 election cycles, kama una story mtu wangu, itabidi tu uende nyumbani. Hakuna mambo ya Wamuthende wa kumuthendeka. Haya, hii ilikuwa very good warning. It's a very good sign for me, and also the people were speaking about voter bribery. Utakuwa unaenda ti Wamuthende. Nyinyi mnaona watoto wanarushia walimu wao mawe mchana, achana usiku, sisi tuko tunafanya shuleni tukio, wanarusha walimu wao mawe mchana. Hao ndio watakuwa wanavutia Wamuthende, si ndio? So these are goons who will be reformed to voters. Sio yenye wanageuza voters to goons. These are goons who have been reformed to voters. Ndio wanakuja. Yes, that is what is up. I really hope Mungu atupate tu miaka tuangalie, because I'm tired with our generation. We are very good storytellers, we are very good, but when it comes out to vote, toka tuende to vote, hakuna mtu anaenda kuvote. Toka tuende tufanye campaign, hakuna mtu anataka campaign. Unaona mtu kama Evans amejitolea, and that's why every time I see Evans on this show, I make sure I document his voice, because I know he's probably giving us one of the greatest stories ever in the history of spaces. Somebody who just came out and said, I want to do spaces. You know, for many people always talk about Nikokadi by Ademba Allans. What people don't know, part of the people that started Nikokadi was actually a man like Evans and Ademba. It's because if you remember, it started in Kasarani. That is where Evans is running for MP. So yeah, so tusiseme eti hakuna watu wanajituma, kuna watu wanajituma, but are we supporting them? Unajua tukiwaambia mtu sparie 200 500 unasema wewe tunataka kufuata NPP. No, it's very hard to compete against political money, you know. And I know very many people are always thinking, why is he always against the government when he can just sing the praises and get money? It's not that easy, and I'm not planning to do that. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning into Home Run, ladies and gentlemen. It happens here each and every weekday from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Next week, we're going to be earlier, starting next week, of course, after the World Cup. But right now, I see Kevinsky here. We are talking about the Ol Kalou by-elections and lessons we can take away from it as we wait for the main results. How are you doing, Bwana Kevinsky?
I'm okay. I'm doing good.
Umeshinda vyema kabisa.
Nimeshinda salama.
Tunashukuru. Karibu.
Asante sana. So one thing that we should emulate from the Ol Kalou, you have clearly seen the voter turnout. Hao watu wamejitokeza bana kwa wengi sana yani. Mpaka hata wagonjwa wenye walikuwa kuna appointment hospitali unaona wamejitokeza wanaenda kupiga kura. And kitu imenifurahisha sana hata elderly wale wazee ambao wako over 80 years wengine mpaka wako hawezi kutembea wako tu na wheelchair but umeona wanapelekwa voting station kwenda kuvote, and this is just a by election and you could clearly see the voter turnout vile imekuwa. So this is a good indication especially for those people who are criticizing government. Kwetu hii ni one of the best indication, na hii ni siku ambaye kwanza nitasherekea even though I'm not a member of DCP, but kuona at least kuona at least UDA imeshindwa after all the input and billions ziliekwa hapo ni a good indication or a clear indication kuwa apart from even handouts people can come and make still what wanaweza kuja na waonyeshe kuwa indo the will na huyu ndo mtu ana support irrespective of hizo handouts na vitu ziko juu. Hakuna watu wamefaidika kwa hizi by election. Tukiangalia hata hizo previous by election kama kina za Mbere, Malava na hata hizo zilikuwa side za Ugenya, watu ndo watu wameenjoy sana hii upande wa by election juu in the first place ni watu wamepewa mpaka gases, ni watu wamepewa mpaka mattresses, ni watu wamepewa mpaka maunga za ngano na ugali na mpaka yani apart from hiyo like on daily basis walikuwa nalipwa bure na government na in additional mpaka vitu zingine walikuwa ziko revived projects zile zimekaa almost more than 3 years 5 years walikuwa exist wame revive in order tu ya ku bribe hawa mavoters ili wavotie mtu wa UDA. So if all these things wamepewa na bado wamevote against him, then it is a clear indication kuwa hii handout si lazima upewe handout ufanye nini utimize vile serikali inafanya. With handouts unaweza kupewa hiyo handout lakini bado upige nani mtu ambaye wewe unatarajia ama a person ambaye mnataka. So this is a good indication na tumeshukuru sana. Then apart from hiyo kitu imefanyika Ol Kalou, pia state of security ni kitu lazima tutaongelea. It's quite concerning and absurd kuona all cabinet secretary in a press media akisema kuwa ajui au watu wenye walikuwa on hooded jackets with mask ni wakina nani, yet you are a cabinet secretary. So hii ni kitu quite concerning as a whole country juu hakuna vile such mtu a cabinet secretary atakuja make such statement yet watu wengine wako mpaka na binduki wako na smoke canister na wako mpaka na tasers, na hiyo upande ilinibo ni ile unapata some of the journalists ambao walienda kucover hizi by election huko Ol Kalou. Kuna wale ambao wamekuwa assaulted with this plain clothes officers wamekuwa assaulted, na kuna kama huyo wa NTV Nation Media mwenye nimeona alikuwa test. Apart from kwa test, amepokonywa the camera na amepokonywa mpaka phone devices kutokava hizi illegalities ama hizi vitu vilikuwa zinaendelea on the ground kuhusu watu walikuwa on the una plain clothes na wako na hooded jackets wakicause hizo chaos or commotions around Ol Kalou. So hiyo ni quite absurd na concerning. Kwanza tukikuwa such state of security crisis, then unasikia cabinet secretary anakuja anasema ajui hao watu walikuwa hooded ni wakina nani, unaona? So hiyo ni kitu after to question as a Kenyan, tujiulize sasa kama huyu ni all cabinet secretary ajui kitu kama hiyo. Then, and this was just a by election. What if it was general election? What will be impact or what will be repercussions? Unaona? So it's high time at least ini kitu nitaendelea kusema na kusema. Hii docket huyu jamaa akiendelea kwa tu cabinet secretary hapo, state ya security ya our nation itakuwa saa zote iko in quagmire ama iko in security crisis, na ni vizuri tusikubali hizi vitu kuendelea. So the moment mnajua kuna wale wana fund vitu kama hizi, juu pia kuna our youths ambao wanatumika. Sorry to say so, but that is the truth. Kuna our youths wenye wanatumika na our political leaders pia cause these distractions and chaos. Na tumeona kuna apart from hao mabductors ambao walikuwa wako around na hizo maprado za matx hizo around, kulikuwa pia na certain youths wenye walikuwa wamekuja kujaribu ku disrupt na ku overturn the will of people, ambao wengine wamepigwa mpaka nimeona wamekuwa stripped naked. So as youth it's really concerning kuona wewe unapewa pesa kukuja kuharibu kura ama kuharibu will ya watu, unaona, ati juu umepewa sijui 1,000 mimi. Tafadhali wache tuwe tu na political tolerance, na hata ukichukua hiyo pesa si lazima ukuje ukosi commotion. Juu the moment umepewa hii 500 umekuja kukosi hizi disruption or chaos, you are putting your life in danger. Life yako is irreversible. The moment utapigwa ama cost injury, unaweza kwenda hapo umekuwa crippled, ambapo uta end up for the rest of life umekuwa crippled hivi. Apart from hiyo, wengine wanaweza kwenda pamekuwa na fatality ambaye hii life yako utafufuka tena, unaona? So ili ujinga kutumika tuache, tafadhali tuache tu kabisa, juu tuna risk a lot of people. Na in case kuna certain politicians mnaona wana meet na hao watu kuwapatia such kind of crude weapons ama kukuja cause chaos, raise alarm na mapema, au mapolitician to create awareness kwa kuna certain politician na ana meet with certain people to cause chaos. At least action ikwe taken mapema before to end up losing our young ones for such kind of what stupidity ya ku accept hiyo sijui 500 ama 1,000 na mtu anaenda hapa ame lose his life ama ameenda hapa ame lose kitu alikuwa anategemea kama maybe gari ama pikipiki ya kumpatia day to day what bread. Asante. So these are things that we should talk about. Thank you.
You see, okay, Kevinsky na Red and Republican, kuna hii kitu ambayo bado ninaona iko deep. Nitaanza nawe Kevinsky. Tunapoingia 2027, je, waona kwamba kutakuwa na any change in terms of voting patterns, ama itakuwa bado tu tunaendelea na ukabila for now?
Okay, in terms of one thing nitaona kuna vile kuna awareness inakuwa created. Even though kitu bado ninataka kusisitiza upande wa ikikuja kwa voting, nikiangalia hizi by election zote zimefanyika, namba ya wenye wanatoka in terms of youths bado haiko vile natakikana juu nikiangalia majority ni hao ma millennials na the old ages au wengi ndo wanajitokeza kupiga kura, so hiyo ni kitu at least na expect kuona, but in terms of hii mambo na ukabila naona at least ina change juu last time wacha nikupe kama hiyo by election ile ilifanyika, siku na huyu ambaye alikuwa ni mtu wa DCP na alishinda huko side za Nandi, unaona, so at least kuna ile change tunaanza kuona kwa a certain leader si lazima come from that region ili achaguliwe, ama si lazima come from what government side ndo achaguliwe. So nimeona watu wanaanza kuvote not as per the party but as per the what individual. Ukiangalia hata kitu ilifanyika Mount Kenya last time UDA iligana more than 80% of votes au akina Ruto akiingia, but ukiangalia sahi this is a new party which is less than 2 years, but unapata amechagua mtu irrespective of UDA being in power for more than 5 years, but wanaenda wana lose with big margin. Ukiangalia UDA ilikuwa na ngapi? Ilikuwa na almost 15%. So one thing ninaona kuna hiyo at least change inakuja. Kwa upande wa kabila nayo bado haijakuwa sorted out, but in terms of ile change in pattern of the parties naona watu wanaanza kuvotia mtu kulingana na record yake. Hiyo ndio kitu naweza kusema nimeona at least, but bado in terms of ukabila bado hiyo naona kuna issue bado hatujaisort. So we need to still create more civic education at least tujaribu kuchange people who vote on track records and development rather than tribal alignments.
So yeah, so the tribal alignment still looks like they are still gonna be handy, but it looks like they are not going to be there for very long. Hiyo ni kitu moja ningependa kupoint out. They are not going to be there for very long because nikiona vile hata pattern hiyo kama venye ulivyosema kwamba if they can win like that in what is supposed to be a presidential ni crazy sana in terms of a by election. Vicky Curtains and Carpets anasema kwamba kitu inafanyika Kenya upande wa vote, we are voting emotionally na hiyo bado itatuingiza kwa shida. This is to you both of you. I'll start with Red and Republican. How do we stop being emotional voters for just 1 minute so that we can even change our country?
Pipita, it is not possible to not be an emotional voter. It's not possible. Even in the most developed economies, in the US, it's Republican or Democrat. They get and they have a lot of freedom and a lot of democracy, but it's still very emotive. You could even see in the UK, the Brexit movement. It was very emotive. People were like, we don't want to be part of the Eurozone. Let our borders be our borders. We are not Europe. We are part of Europe, but we are not Europe. That is what they said. And even in Kenya, it cannot stop being emotive. You cannot remove emotions out of a decision that will define your life and your standard of living for the next 5 years. As a matter of fact, if you vote without emotions on such an issue, then you will have lost it completely. There's always a place for emotions, and emotions are there for decisions that affect you. I mean, for an emotion means it only occurs because something has affected you, right? For example, even if you see someone being beaten, right, you start feeling their pain. Like you cannot see them crying and then cry in unison for support. You have to feel it. You have to be emotional about it, even in politics. And also on the part of tribalism, I'd say, of course, it will still be there. And I'm always saying this, people focus so much on national politics that they forget to look in the mirror. In your home county, for example, in Nyandarua, can Masai be elected governor? In Narok, can a Kikuyu or a Luo be elected governor? In Turkana, can Pokot be elected senator? Right? Even seats as small as MCAs, you may get a few, but majority of the time, over 90%, people vote on their tribe. And it's not really tribe, I would not call it tribalism per se. I'd call it where people live. Because the way our economy is structured, the way our counties are divided, they are divided in terms of where tribes reside. That is why when Kisumu County was created, it was already implied that that county is for the Luos. It did not matter that there are all other tribes living there. When Kiambu County was created, it was implied that it's for Kikuyus. Well, Kiambu is the second or third most cosmopolitan county in Kenya. So yes, tribalism will be there. Even if Sifuna, if someone from Mount Kenya votes for Sifuna, it will be because they have been directed by the united opposition that our votes are for Sifuna. For William Ruto, for example, the UDA votes he got, the Kikuyus voted for a non-Kikuyu, but it was all Kikuyus together voting for William Ruto. So even if we say we are not voting for a president based on the fact that he's coming from our tribe, we must agree as a tribe. You understand? That's why I'm saying tribalism is here to stay. That the tribe must sit down and agree, sisi kama hii kabila tunapigia ule mtu wa ile kabila ingine. So that is also still tribalism. Where tribalism would not exist is if people did not care that I am voting for someone else from another tribe, therefore I'm not tribal. Or I'm voting for someone from my tribe because if I don't, the other tribe, either way, that is still tribalism. So the best we can do is hope that the leaders who come out and be on the ballot are leaders who, in their unity and in their deal making when they are dividing their so-called shares, that the leaders that are seated on that table, the best we can hope for is that they have integrity. On a side note, I'd give an example of Ukambani. Majority of the MPs, MCAs, governors are Wiper. Luo Nyanza, majority of all of them are ODM. And you may say ODM, wow, Wiper, wow, until you find out Wiper, most of the people in Wiper are Kamba. And you look at ODM, it has been great. And that is why I think Raila Odinga must be turning in his grave. Because while he was leader of ODM, ODM was a party for everybody, wherever you were. But as it turns out, after he's left, there seems to be a push to turn ODM into a tribal party. Just like Jubilee, Uhuru Kenyatta tried to turn Jubilee into a Kikuyu party, and therefore he lost majority of all his MPs. So yes, tribalism and emotions are always going to be there in politics for the foreseeable future.
Yavinsky, you said we are a changed vote base. Are we gonna see people stop voting with emotion soon? And I'm talking about next year. Ama we have to wait for the ones that are in school to finish throwing stones.
Okay, one thing I will say that in order for you to have emotion, there are certain factors that must have triggered you to have that emotion. And from the current regime, I'll give you a good example. For example, broad-based. Majority of these people who are in broad-based, especially from Lake region, Nyanza, you will clearly majority of them, if you have time to have one-on-one conversation with them, you'll listen to them, and this is what they will say. We are in this. They will always tell you, we are in this government because Mount Kenya or people from Central Region are the one who brought us into this government, and therefore we are going to choose Ruto because of it, like is kind of, some of them will choose the lead Ruto just for revenge, but not because he's a good president or is someone with good intention. So this emotion is always with, and some leaders are the one bringing or inciting the electorates in certain pattern. And I'll give you a good example. For example, those Luo leaders, such as Mbadi, cabinet secretary. Last time when he went to Suba, this is what he was saying. And this is a cabinet secretary who should not even be campaigning for Ruto as per the Article 77. But this person had the audacity to tell those people in that area that, you know what, vote for Ruto, at least so that we can have development, because if you don't vote for Ruto, there will be no development. And Mount Kenyan people have been or central people have been gaining this development, and they are not good people. They have always betrayed us. Now, if a certain leader is trying to entice or is trying to incite people from that region, and this is our cabinet secretary, so there are certain, for you to have those emotions, there are certain factors that are involved. Others will vote against William Ruto due to economic indicators. For example, like me, I will vote against Ruto, one, because I'm feeling the impact in my salary. The rate of which taxes I'm contributing are quite a lot, and I feel like I'm not getting enough from those taxes that I'm being taxed. Secondly, I will vote against him from the security situations that I'm seeing in this country. You can clearly see that there is a high rate of insecurity, and there is high rise of Gunism culture almost in every county, starting from Kisumu, Migori, go to central regions, Kikuyu, go to Nyahururu, and all others. So this is, secondly, I will vote against it due to the high insecurity cases that have increased. Thirdly, the rate of borrowing. There is high rate of borrowing, not only from the external external lenders, but also from internally. The internal debt was 4.3. At the moment is around more than 7.7. Come to the externally. We have overborrowed from IMF, from World Bank, from Japanese Samurai, from African Development Bank, from Exim Bank, and other necessary banks that are there. So we are borrowing externally and we are borrowing internally. Apart from that external and internal borrowing, you will see that there are these programs such as affordable housing, which were taxed and housing levy. But to make the matters worse, apart from being taxed housing levy for this affordable housing, the government is also still taking loan for the same affordable housing. So you see, these factors are things that will at least impact me to vote emotionally against the government. So truth be told, these factors are certain things that at least will trigger you emotionally and will result or will have an impact, a direct impact on how you will end up voting. So yeah, necessary will always end up voting emotionally, because there are certain factors that will end up triggering our emotions. And from those certain factors, then we'll end up making our decision based on those factors that hinder our emotions or end up triggering our emotions, and from those factors we'll end up making what? A concrete decision on how we vote. Thank you.
Pepita, if I may add to what Kevinsky has said on the emotions part, I applaud it basically, and I actually it made me remember a reference to something someone told me, that ODM in itself, I've always found a big problem with ODM members. And the reason I find a big problem with ODM members is simple. And I'll give an analogy, a short one, and be done with my submission in a minute. Imagine you want to cross a river, and you meet somebody on the river, and that person tells you that inside that river there is a crocodile. Therefore, don't jump into that river. But the person ignores you, jumps into that river. Then he meets the crocodile, and the person tries to swim back to shore and tells you, pull me up, I see the crocodile, let's kill it together. Then the person tells you, si nilikuambia kuko na crocodile ukusikia, sasa mimi na crocodile tuko pande moja. Takes a spear and starts throwing you back in the water. That is how I feel ODM has been behaving in national politics. Because in 2013, they told everyone who could listen. Luckily for me, I was not a voter at the time. I was too young. They said that Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto are ICC suspects, and you shouldn't vote for them. But people voted for them. In 2018, when people had now had enough of Uhuru Kenyatta, and especially leading up towards the COVID period, where people were now completely tired of Uhuru Kenyatta, instead of ODM coming to the people and saying, sasa kabla nyi mkuje tulikuwa 6 million, sasa mmekuja we are 14 million. What ODM does, it jumps ship and says tuliwaambia mkutusikia, sasa tuko na Uhuru. All right, it got to 2022. They said usipigie Ruto, Ruto ni mamba. People didn't listen, voted for Ruto. What happened? Ruto turned out to be a mamba. People came back to ODM. Hey, even you remember the clip of the girl telling Raila, don't come out to the streets. This one is for you. You don't come out, you stay at home. And even Raila Odinga retweeted that post, quoted it or something. And instead of now welcoming all these other people who have come to your side and are saying, we made a mistake, we should have voted for you instead, let's impeach this guy. Instead of doing that, what did ODM do? Rudini kwa maji na mamba, tuliwaambia. That would never happen in the United States of America. That the Republicans get tired of Donald Trump, they go to the Democrats, then the Democrats say, you know what, we told you, let Donald Trump stay, and as a matter of fact, they welcome Donald Trump to run on a Democratic ticket. That cannot happen. Because those people, even if they're using emotions, they're looking for people to join them. They're not looking to fight. You see, the way I find it, ODM, it's like they're trying to be on the opposite side. Even when you join ODM on its side, it is uncomfortable that you're with them on the same side. So they shift. So when people come to you, they say, hey, you were right, you need to accept them. And Raila Odinga would have been president a long time ago if the people of ODM accepted that. That was just to applaud Kaminski for saying that the emotions must come from somewhere. They can't just be emotions for the sake. Thank you for that, Kaminski. Back to you, Peter.
I see Bundi Kirianki is here with us. Thank you so much. Bwana Red and Republican, I'm going to ask Bundi Kirianki the same question. If we're going to go beyond emotional voting anytime soon, starting with this time, or we have to keep it time for it to sip in. Bundi, are you there? I don't know if he's able to listen to hear me. Looks like Bundi has disappeared. Anyway, you're listening to Home Run. It's 5 minutes, the top of the hour. Of course, we talk about, and I've seen Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has conceded early defeat. Kwani nini imeendelea huko? Unajua sijakuwa nikifuatilia. Hebu sasa acha nione. Kwani what the government has been handed a good one. You know, I was waiting for the final result. Wamepewa a good beating. It looks like it has been a very great beating.
Pipita,
Yeah?
Pipita,
Yes, Kevin.
it is a good meeting. The UDA candidate had around 13%, while the rest hiyo space wamejaribu haijeweza. Leo hata mapolisi wenyewe walikuwa nafanyiwa inspection. Au the police ambao wako in uniform walikuja huko, wanaangalia kama kuna any marked ballot papers. So it was very tough for these people. Wakajaribu kuleta hata guns ambayo umekwambia kuna hao vijana, our youth pia aliletwa. Hao vijana wamenyoroshwa biti nyingine proper mpaka wengine waka end up wamekuwa stripped naked. Unaona? Apart from hiyo, wame end up wameleta hao plain hooded officers na wenye wanavaa mpaka hizo mabalaklava na mpaka walikuja na ma smoke canister na tear gas kujaribu kudisperse watu from hizo election from hizo polling stations, but haijawaka. So kitu walilemewa ni kuwa there was a lot of streaming. Juu kuna hata sehemu walijaribu kupoteza stima, but watu walikuwa wamejipanga pia na nini na lights, unaona. So it was very difficult. Hao watu wamechunga hii by election yao through all means. Ilikuwa ni ngumu sana government interfere, na hiyo pia turnout ilikuwa tu very massive. Juu hao watu wameleta mpaka wengine hata walikuwa ni wagonjwa bana. Mtu anabebwa mpaka na wheelchair kuja vote. Wengine ni hata wajiwezi over 80, 85, wengine 90 years wameletwa vote. Sasa hapa ukiangalia hiyo maji, mtu ako na around 15,000, huyu mwingine ako na around 3,000 wa UDA. Unaona hiyo, that is a big margin ambayo hata ujaribu kustaff hizo ballot papers haingewaka. So wote wamekubali, na kitu ilikuwa inanishangaza walikuwa shaanza mapema kupeana congratulation, na bado hata election ilikuwa iko haijatimia. Ukiangalia hata ma government bloggers wakina Rosa Olionya, wakina Omwanza, wote walikuwa wameenda huko Ol Kalou, but ndio hiyo bado wameonyeshwa vumbi. So ilikuwa ni ngumu waibe leo.
Anaitwa Sammy Douglas. Wazee mko na majina. Sammy Douglas Waweru. Yaani hata hiyo Waweru ina sound kama jina ya kizungu. Najua Kindiki ameandika hii kama wamelia machozi marefu sana. Ameandika hapa hivi, this is from congratulations Sammy Douglas Waweru Kamau. Acha on your imminent victory in the by-elections held today for the MP seat for Ol Kalou constituency. You know the residents and serve them all without distinction. Okay. Congratulations, Samuel Muchina of our UDA party candidate for a good show and a mature issue-based campaign devoid of insults. Good day. Quite got to watch different campaigns up. You may not have succeeded today, but your star shines bright into the future. That is a statement from the one and only Mr. Sopiman, aka Kindiki. Anasema kwamba congratulations. What are the lessons we learned from this Nimeona kwamba watu kuna vendetta sana, and I'm glad that we are almost coming back to live, to long form home run, that is from 4 p.m. all the way to 10. But nimelearn vitu mingi. One of the things nimelearn ni kumbe Wakenya mnapenda kupigana punishment mnapenda, yes, sababu hata saizi bado mnapiga kura za punishment, hata siwaelewi punishment saizi kweli. Anyway, I thought we would have been doing better, but now anyway, I have an idea. Tumejaribu ku raise hii end month fundraiser yetu. Tuna raise about 25,000 that helps us keep this show running, that is studio bills, wifi, nini. So ukiona tujafika hapo kwa 20, ujue kwamba hata rent haijalipwa pale, bwana mwenye nyumba ameshaanza kutuangalia vibaya. So go into that Tibja line. Saizi nataka tufanye a quick challenge, 100 bob for people. Go into that Tibja line and drop 100 shillings. Let us cross to 15k. To cross 15k, then we'll have remained with less than 10k to the end of this fundraiser of ours with that crowd fund that we do. So go into that Tibja line right now as I listen to African Pundit and Jahoma Bay. Thank you so much, Red and Republican Kevinsky, and all of you who have taken time to talk to us. So, African Pundit, how are you doing? Tuweke 100 bob saizo African Pundit anaongea. I'll be updating the value as we continue. African Pundit, hi. Okay. Jahoma Bay, how are you doing?
Thank you much, Pipita. Nitaweka 100 bob yangu after this, but I'm so happy to be here, Pipita. It's another day, another evening. Things have gone the way they went. Things have gone the way I wanted. I am very happy, very, very happy, very happy, very, very happy. I think that is I'm very happy, Pipita, after what I've witnessed in Ol Kalou. These people, this government took all the boats from Lake Victoria. They took all the boats. They took to Ol Kalou. The people have rejected the votes. The boats they took there. The people have rejected the gas cylinders. The people have rejected ungangano na sukari. Pipita, the people of Mount Kenya, I hail you on one thing. You always show your leaders where you want them to go, not where they want to go. And that is something that is unique with you people. That is very different from other people, including very different from the region where I come from. You people always, you dictate your leaders. They don't dictate you. As from where I come from, our leaders dictate us. They dictate us. They wake up in the morning, they dictate our people. And I hail you for that. And as they say, my guru once said, you can rent a Kikuyu, but you cannot buy one. Thank you so much for refusing to be bought. Thank you so much. That hiyo kiburi na madharau ya hii serikali. I like how you have dealt with Mr. Soprano. Mr. Soprano, even before David Kiara was buried, Mr. Soprano was already speaking. We'll meet him there. The guy was already crawling like a cat that has seen milk. I like how you people have dealt with that guy. I have suffered politically in the hands of the people of Mount Kenya. This time round, I said no. I was not going to support Muchina or UDA. I was not going to support. I was not going to have another heartbreak. The heartbreaks I have had in the hands of these people are enough. I refused. I said no. And I have been campaigning for Sammy Kamau Ngotho. They went there and called him a chokora. They went there and called him, you can't vote for a chokora. Sammy Kamau is a chokora. Now the chokora is now, chokora turned the slogan. Watu wa Mlima Kenya wakaanza kuiba, huyu ndio chokora wetu. Chokora is now going to parliament. The government has spent billions. They have gone there, terrorized the people. Hooded men firing here. Likes of Njuguna Kawanjiku. Kawanjiku joined the goods today. If you go to my TL, there's a whole video of Njuguna Kawanjiku, a member of parliament, standing with hooded men. I really wanted them to lose this seat. I really wanted this government to lose this seat. They are wasting a lot of money, bribing voters. They've wasted our taxes. The amount of money they have wasted there could have gone to constructing roads. People like Sudi were sitting down. Well, I'm so happy. I like how kwa sasa watu wa UDA nilisikia mlisema mtu hajaishindwa kura. What happened? Nilisikia hajaishindwa. What happened? These people, there was a by-election in Kasipul Kabondo. Mimi sikuona hata hiyo pesa yote ikipelekwa huko. Hakukuwa na unga ya chapati. Hakukuwa na hizi ma steamboat. Maji haikuchimbwa. Lakini sasa mnapeleka hiyo yote. You think you can get away with it. I'm so happy. And so I'm so happy. Itumbi nilimwona asubuhi akikohoa. Huyu mtu akikohoa akifikiria ati the people are playing football here are the people who will show you a nation. We will show you. And I don't know how this government was so confident of winning this seat. I don't know. They were so confident. And at the back of my mind, I was very sure they were not going to win this seat. If there was a seat I was sure about them not winning, is this seat. People like Moses Kuria, Pepita, they were there. They all 3 months. These people were there 3 months. Na kuambia ile maendeleo tumeona Ol Kalou, hiyo pesa imetumika huko to move all those people. It's more than 7 billion. More than 7 billion. That is money enough to construct Gormayering roads, which Ruto came and launched and dumped. So for me, this I'm very happy at that embarrassment. I'm very happy, and I want to tell them, even in that Mbeere North, had they not bribed the people, that margin of win should tell you guys that it was tough. And the government just stepped away from bribing the voters of Mbeere North. I can, especially in that, which word was that? Was it Eburore or Muminji? Had they stayed away from bribing voters there, these people would have not won that seat. They would have not won that seat. They would have not won it. Yes, Pipita, they would have not. This government is full of wastage. They are wasting taxes. I cannot, even if you want to support this government, I can tell you, I myself, Pipita, I have always wanted to support this government. I've tried, but the things they keep doing, it becomes very hard for you to support them. They are pushing the people away from supporting them because the things they do, I can't support. You find yourself, you can't support them. Yeah? It becomes very, very hard. They have deployed a whole more than 10 billion in Ol Kalou, giving people unga chapati. Kuchimba maji na whatever, that's fine. That's maendeleo. I have no problem with that. Why are you taking those steamboats, boats from the to Ol Kalou? I mean, make sense. And then you are deploying, moving a whole leaders, courier, and everybody there, working with money left, right, and center. That's our taxes. Hiyo si pesa ya Ruto kutoka kwa mfuko yake. That is something we need to understand. And the fact that the government has lost that seat, my goodness me, I am so happy. I like it. I am so happy. I have never been. And they have not just lost it. They have lost it to Achokora. They called him Achokora. They are the people who named this DCP candidate Achokora. They call him Achokora. The same government that said we are a bottom-up government. They call this guy Achokora. They have lost the Chokora. We have lost a lot of billions there, bribing people. Those billions would have been used to construct roads, schools, water, insecurity, Goons are reigning left, right, and center. Murkomen is very incompetent. In fact, Murkomen has turned that office, Pepita, into it is the most incompetent CS I've ever seen. He's the most incompetent. Now, yeah, he's just there because of William Ruto Mkalenjin. Let's be honest. And